Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nicolette Hodge. I am an Angel warrior here in the Midwest, standing with and representing Master Solomon, the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the seven seals of the Angel, which is all 22 chapters of Revelations. Angel is the Arabic word for gospel. Master Solomon also represents Daniel, Jonah, Joshua, which is another word for Jesus. He is the self-taught one. He is the Son of Man. Welcome, brothers and sisters. We will not let them diminish, downplay, nor will we allow them to sweep up under the rug our full comprehensive history of being here in America, the Holocaust. It's not slavery, it's not a critical race theory. This is the day in, day out, merciless torture, rape, terrorization, sodomization, decapitation, pedophilia, cannibalism, forcing us to eat feces, human feces, cattle feces. They had no restraints with us, no restrictions. They put their filthy devil seed in us, original woman, and forced us to have their black-faced devils, masses, children, house Negroes. And they were put in place to keep us further terrorized and programmed. To keep us programmed to do exactly what Master says without thinking about it, without asking any questions. Okay, and that is not slavery. Slavery is working someone without paying them. Where in that is stripping us of our culture, our language, our names, and our unification. That has nothing to do with slavery. That's a completely different agenda. Their sinister, evil attempt to destroy us. So understand that the Holocaust is why the world is experiencing judgment right now. Namely, these Europeans. Okay? European Caucasian devils. The Holocaust is at the center of all of their judgment, wars, and all of their conflicts is a direct result of the Holocaust. And the thing is now that the time period for the Holocaust is over, they no longer have their punching bag, which is us. They're still angry, okay? They still lack discipline. They're still irate and irrational. It's just that they don't have us to punch on. They don't have us to sodomize and rape at will and us to burn at the stake while they're partying. They are, the Holocaust time period is up. The only way they can keep putting us through the Holocaust, brothers and sisters, is if you allow them. And with us not being their punching bag anymore, they still have all this pent up anger and they're taking it out on each other. All right, brothers and sisters, we're going to speak about this war taking place in the Middle East. However, before we get into it, we're going to see what the scriptures has to say. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12. This scripture is telling us that Daniel shut up the words and sealed the book into the end of times. We can all agree that we are in the end of times. Even these devils know this. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Daniel is the son of man, Master Solomon. He is the one who shut up the words and the one who have unsealed this book. Now, he has provided the angel key, which we have several presentations and classes showing you how to read these scriptures using this angel key so that you can understand what this mathematical language is saying. From up until now, you've been reading the Bible from our enemy's point of view, our enemy's perspective. This book was sealed up and given to our enemies, and they were to put their own interpretation on it as they ruled over civilization for themselves. What they did is they put their interpretation on it and terrorized us with their interpretations and created Christianity to further torment us and let us know that if we don't submit to them, we're going to be in hell for eternity. Okay, and you don't even realize that we are in hell right now. Tell me what's worse than the Holocaust. Tell me what's worse than being here in America up under the rulership of these European Caucasian devils that are killing off our babies with the abortions, putting these jabs on us, putting our brothers in the prison system, putting our brother black men as the poster child of the LGBTQ community, where we get pulled over in a traffic stop and get 90 bullets put in us, where they have been selling our organs and using our DNA to heal themselves up while trying to alter our DNA and kill us off. Okay, tell me what's worse than what we have been through, what we are going through right now. So we are in hell. And they told you that you're going to go to heaven and get your paradise when you die, which is another big deceit. Biggest lie you can wrap your head around. It don't make any sense. So we're supposed to live our whole lives in fear, and then when we die, that's when we get to experience paradise? No, brothers and sisters. We've already have our home waiting on us, our heaven, which is the Middle East, Arabia. We covered it up in sand and preserved it so that it could not be corrupted. And so understand that if you don't if you don't know of the Injil, which is the gospel, revelations, and you don't have this knowledge of the seals being broken, then you have no clue what you're reading. And you're not going to get any type of understanding in the church, because those are demons who have been employed by Massa to keep you in fear and keep terrorizing you with their perspective of these scriptures. So Daniel, Master Solomon, is the one who shut up the words and sealed the book, and until the end of time he would unseal these scriptures, okay, and guide us back home, returning us to our very mind of mathematical thinking. And so let's move on. This is chapter 12 of Revelations. This is the Injil. And occurred war in heaven. I just told you heaven is the Middle East, our promised land, as stated in the Abrahamic covenant. Go read Genesis. The Michael and the angels of him, that's Master Farad Muhammad, Iran and Syria, of the two war with the dragon, and the dragon warred and the angels of it. Okay, the dragon is the house of Saud, false Israel, America and Britain. It's talking about two different groups of people here going to war. This is a transliteral copy. First thing you need to do is throw that King James version out, because that's exactly what it is. It is King James version. It's his European Caucasian perspective. And so this transliteral copy is a direct translation of the Hebrew words into English. It don't have any opinions or perspectives or thinking on it. Now, this is why it reads somewhat quirky. So it's speaking about two different groups of people here going to war. It's telling you that Michael and his angels are going to war with the dragon and his angels. And so the next verse is speaking about the dragon. And not it proved strong. Not but place was found of them yet in the heaven. This dragon was not strong, and it was no place for this dragon in heaven, which is the Middle East. And was thrown the dragon the great, the serpent, the archaic, the being called devil and Satan, the making to err, the being inhabited whole. He was thrown into the earth, and the angels of him with him were thrown. Now, brothers and sisters, understand that who's Satan? Who's the devil? We know these European Caucasians are the devil. We know that Satan, scriptures tells us, those who call themselves Jews and are not are the synagogue of Satan. Who is it that's running around here calling themselves Jews and are not? These German, European, Caucasian devils. sitting in false Israel. The capital is Jerusalem. We are the true Jews. They are the false Jews. They have stolen our inheritance, and the Sunnis, the house of Saud, has stolen our land. So together they're working to completely take over, steal our birthright. Now, this scripture right here is telling you how the war is about to play out. It's telling you that Michael and his angels are going to war with the dragon and his angels, and the dragon is not strong. There was no place found for the dragon in heaven. And they was thrown out of heaven. And so, understand that this understanding can only come about by reading the unsealed scriptures, because if you went in and just read this and tried to take it literally, it sounds like a fairy tale. Michael and his angels and the dragon and his angels, and the way that they're telling these things to us in the church is like it's just a big old spooky story. And so, without these seals being broken, this verse, these scriptures mean nothing to you. You don't understand anything about this. You trying to go in and read it the same way these devils are reading. They take everything for face value. They're extremely literal. Okay, and they don't. This is a mathematical language. These are parables that. This is how we speak. We say that. Oh, that's cool. These devils automatically think of something cold. What's wrong? They don't understand how we speak. We say, oh, that's tight. They're thinking, oh, is something restricting you? We letting each other know that, there's something that we like. There's something seemed cool to us or intriguing. And so we speak in parables, brothers and sisters, our mathematical language, and we do it and don't even realize it. Okay, but they've put their perspective on us. They put their interpretations on us and have kept us from even trying to think outside of the box. So with these seals being broken and this information being revealed to us, now we can start to make sense of what's happening, because that's the whole word of revelations means to reveal something. So what is it that's being revealed? If you're going in and reading it literally, you're not seeing anything. Nothing is being revealed to you. You have to understand how these seals have been broken. Now, Michael and his angels, Master Fard Muhammad, Iran and Syria. We know that Master Fard Muhammad is responsible for the sky security. He has our wills. This is our technical marvel. These devils could not wrap their mind around how these wills work, what they're made of, where they come from, anything. For the longest, and they still are, they're calling them UFOs, unidentified flying objects. These, this transportation, these are our wills. Now, they're telling you how these wills are hovering over their military bases and knocking out their nuclear power. They have no clue that these wills is what's going to dismantle their nuclear weapons over here in the Middle East in a few days. And so, Master Fard Muhammad, our God, will defeat the dragon and his angels, the house of Saud, which has aligned themselves with false Israel. Master Solomon been warning us for 30 years about this. You laughed in his face, called him out of his name, made jokes, okay, because it sounded so absurd and you didn't see. You're too ignorant to understand how all of this is coming into focus. And now it's staring you right in the face. The House of Saud have aligned themselves with false Israel, America, and Britain. We know that America and Britain put false Israel into place in 1948. This is the same time that Master Solomon was conceived. He is the Christ. False Israel is the Antichrist. Okay? And they had to put false Israel into place to counteract the knowledge being given by by Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that we are God's chosen people. We are gods and goddesses. We are going back home. He told you that we are living out Exodus and that we would be fools to want to stay in the land of our imprisonment. And so, false Israel has the same political structure of Britain, yet their military power is America. Now, the first order of business with Master Fraud Muhammad, Michael and his angels going to war with the dragon and his angels. The first two to go down is America and Britain. They will be kicked out the Middle East. Okay? America will be sent home with their tail in between their legs like the cowardly dogs that they are. They're going to be lying. They're not going to let the general public know that when they went to launch their nuclear weapons, it was all neutralized and deactivated by Master Fraud Muhammad. And they're going to be blaming it on Russia. Now, we can see this coming into focus right now because Russia has already been meeting with Iran, and they said that they're willing to assist Iran. So as far as America is concerned, that will help feed their narrative of Russia being the reason why they lost the war, because they're going to say Russia is working with America's enemies. So, they helped. They're the reason why, America lost. And so they're not going to be telling the general public about these UFOs, or what the scriptures and what we know to be the wills. Now, once America and Britain get kicked out, and this sky battle has been reduced to a ground battle because Master Fraud Muhammad, our sky security, is going to wipe their nuclear weapons completely out, so they don't have any type of sky power. Master Fraud Muhammad is now in charge of the, which he's always been, but they're going to see it for themselves. And Master Fraud Muhammad will be hovering over them and whatnot. And so now it becomes a ground battle. All their nuclear weapons keep getting shot down, so now it's a ground war. False Israel is a dot on the map. Just look up Jerusalem, and it's a tiny little dot, something similar like New Jersey compared to the rest of the United States. So just imagine false Israel being New Jersey, the rest of the United States being Iran and Syria. There is no way that they could win a ground war, period. And so everything is working against them, brothers and sisters. There's no way they can come up out of this. And so once this becomes a ground war, false Israel is going to go immediately under siege. Now, once they go under siege, they will be destroyed. Remember, keep in mind, they've been saying that the Abrahamic covenant applies to them. That's what Judaism is about. Okay, and these false Jews have been saying that they are the seed of Abraham, and that they have been led to their promised land. For one, it's a bunch of hogwash because the Abrahamic covenant says that you would have to be afflicted and tormented for 400 years and be a sojourner. That means temporarily in a strange land, a land that is not ours. And so they haven't been kidnapped and brought over to a strange land and then been afflicted and tormented for 400 years. That's us. So they're lying. And then on top of that, it says that we will return home in peace. False Israel ain't never been at peace. They've been warring with the whole world. And not only that, they're not even at peace with each other. They cannot even keep a president in, they can't keep a president. They're constantly voting one out and voting another one in. And so they're not in peace. And then the third strike is that they are not sitting in between the great river Euphrates and the river Egypt, which is Arabia, which is our home that we would go back to. They're sitting on a Palestinian country. They have put themselves over there, and the House of Saud is sitting on our land, Arabia. They renamed it Saudi Arabia, and they're sitting on our land. The other one is taking our inheritance. They're working together. So the whole thing is, once they are gone under siege and destroyed, the whole world will realize that they can't possibly be the seed of Abraham. It is us, original brothers and sisters right here in America, who have been being dogged out, cursed, dehumanized, And what do you think that means for them, brothers and sisters? Once, we have been at the bottom of civilization, now we're going to be on top of civilization. That means that they're going to be put on the bottom. They're going to be destroyed. And so, I just explained how false Israel goes under siege, and the whole world sees that we are the true seed of Abraham. Our faithful and true God, Master Fard Muhammad, he's always been on the scene, right along with Master Solomon. When you see the Son, you see the Father. So, Master Solomon is our faithful and true God as well. He's been on post for 30 plus years, getting this information out to our people nonstop. And so, what does this mean for us? They're going to try to attack all black folks and exterminate all black people. Now, there's two different groups of black people here in America, brothers and sisters. Lessons tell us that it's 34 million blacks in America. We know that 17 million are original and the other 17 million are demons. They are massive seed, black face devils. Okay? They are the house Negroes. The ones that want America for themselves. They want reparations. They want 6 states. This is the same as Farrakhan. He is a black-faced devil. He's a demon. That's a demon means devil man. His father is Percival Clark, a false Jew. And he has the same nature as his father. So when you hear Farrakhan getting up there telling you that we are not going anywhere, that is a message for him and the demons. Because they are not going anywhere. They will be rejected. Okay? And we don't want nothing to do with them. They can have America. Let them tear it up. Riot, protest, shoot it up. Do whatever you want to do. Because while they're out here in the streets protesting and rioting, and reclaiming America for themselves, we're going to be organizing, unifying, and getting ready to get the hell up out of here. Now, what does this mean for you, brothers and sisters? Because this is going to be, we are stepping into a time of unprecedented trouble. Unprecedented trouble, brothers and sisters. So what does this mean for you? They're going to be attacking all black people. Some of you are sleeping in bed with these devils. Okay? Live right next door to these devils. Have gone out of your way to live in the suburbs and cul-de-sacs and get close to these devils. Now, they know what it means when false Israel gets completely destroyed. Just go look at TV7 Israel News and look at the comments of what these devils are saying. They're praying, they're betting their last dollar on false Israel winning this war, and they're all looking at it from a scriptural standpoint that the Abrahamic covenant is for these false Jews. We know that that's a lie. This is why it's going to be so shocking. The shock of the hour, also known as the abomination of desolation. Because all of these devils are rooting for false Israel. And they're using the scriptures to back them up. And so when all of this hits the fan and false Israel is destroyed, these devils are going to be angry. These devils have been paying attention. These devils know mathematics. We don't. We are the ones asleep, okay, blind, deaf, and dumb, brothers and sisters. And so, once false Israel gets destroyed, they're attacking all blacks. It's not going to be the military or the, your local police force. They're not going to have time to get to us. Not only that, they're going to be so busy with the war of Armageddon, all these European nations colliding and conflicting and warring with each other. The West will be at war with itself. Now, when they attack black folks, they're going to attack everybody. They're going to attack demons. They're going to attack original brothers and sisters. They're going to attack the African brothers and sisters that are here in America. They're going to attack the Jamaican brothers and sisters. They're going to attack anyone who has or appears to be a black person. Now, this is going to be a scary time if you don't know what the hell is going on. Because all you know is you woke up one day and You woke up to somebody banging down your door or already in your house trying to kill you, or you witnessing, black people being murdered, and all you know is that you're trying to get to safety and figure out what the heck is going on. This is why we are trying to prepare you by letting you know what's going to happen before it happens. And not only that, giving you your weapon, which is the 5 mathematical pillars of Islam. Your very nature, brothers and sisters. We are disciplined. They have taken us away from our discipline. And so this consequence, our profession of faith, understanding that every action has an opposite or equal reaction. You're going to have to understand this during the time of unprecedented trouble, because it's going to get very dark and cold. And your faith is going to be the only thing to carry you through. Now, the whole thing about that is, we telling you how this war is going to play out. We already told you about the JCPOA deal. Scriptures shared with us that they will, the witnesses, Iran and Syria, will be under the foot of the nations for 3.5 years. That was from 2015 to 2018 and a half. That means somewhere in June, the JCPOA deal was ended. And we told you that they would not be going back to it. Okay, and we explained to you how that JCPOA would be the spark to this war in the Middle East, which the war in the Middle East would be the spark to the war at Armageddon. And so, faith has to be tethered to facts. Okay, faith. You put that pot of water on the fire, you know it's going to boil. Okay, because that's what the facts and mathematics tell you, and there's no other option. There's no other outcome. You drop an egg off of a roof, okay, of a building, that egg is going to crack because mathematics. There's no other outcome for the egg. You don't have to sit there and wonder what's going to happen next. And so, your faith, you need to know what's going on, because you're going to have to rely on the facts and the mathematics that's already been shown to you to get you through into the next phase. And then not only that, brothers and sisters, we must have a firm heart to even withstand this time of unprecedented trouble. A lot of you have never even seen a dead body. You ain't never seen nobody get killed or murdered in front of you. You never heard a bomb drop. You ain't never seen people mass panicking. You never even seen a group of people running and panicking. All you know is movies. And so, firm hearts. Because men's hearts will be failing of fear what's to come next. Our people will be having heart attacks simply out of fear. So that's why we teach you how to firm your hearts, brothers and sisters. Carefully and slowly reciting the words of the Quran. This is how we tune our hearts. Our voice is connected to our hearts, which is part of the circulatory system. You can always tell the state of a person's heart by their voice. As a matter of fact, it don't matter what's going on with you. When you go to the doctor, the first thing they do is check your heart, your blood pressure. They check the state of your heart. You can go in for a cut, a sprained ankle. First thing they're going to do is check the state of your heart and see what's going on with your blood pressure. That gives them all kind of other information on what's going on with your body. And so the whole thing about that is the heart is the first to respond. When this shock of the hour takes place, it's going to strike fear into you. Now, if you understand what's going on, you won't be fearful. These salats, the way that we firm our hearts, is going to keep you from caving in and breaking down, having a heart attack, okay? And so, charity, zakat, given to those who have less. During this time period of them attacking us, we are going to be unifying. Scriptures tells us to flee to the mountains. Now, this ain't no landmass that, literal mountains that we are fleeing to. we are fleeing to safety points. Now, we have already laid out these 3 states that we will be fleeing to. Our African brothers and sisters are already united and will come together and form a barrier for the rest of our brothers and sisters to gain this knowledge of self, learn these 5 mathematical pillars, and rise up and unify. And so, charity, uplifting each other, letting each other know what's going on. Now, we're not trying to convince each other what's going on. I mean, either you understand it or you don't. However, giving you the knowledge and the wisdom that you didn't have before. And that's all we're going to be doing when we unify with each other. We're getting each other all on one accord. Okay? We are organizing, setting up our military. Okay? And everyone is taking their position in ranks. Fasting, 1 meal a day. This is how we maximize our energy, stay healthy. Okay? And this is going to help us during this time of the food shortage, famine. We know that those of us with the lamb, Master Solomon, will have a meal. Scripture says that we will be receiving manna from heaven. And that means that Master Fard Muhammad is going to make sure that we have food. We will eat, and our enemies will be hungry. However, fasting, we still must show this discipline. We're not going to be sitting around eating and snacking all day like you're doing right now. And so this is another way of how we discipline ourselves, and this is our very nature, brothers and sisters. And then Hajj, harmonic motion. No conflict. We're all on one accord, okay? And we're all on the same page. And we all understand the one clear-cut vision, which is vision of the Abrahamic covenant. We are going home. We are preparing for our great departure. That's the whole thing about Exodus. A great exit. So we're leaving up out of here and we're going home, brothers and sisters. Now, what you need to understand is when they're attacking all blacks, we come together, we unify. All blacks are coming together. Like I said, we are going to be separating the chaff from the wheat. That's the demons that have been plaguing us. We're going to reject them, send them back to their swine daddies. They can take over America and have it for themselves. And we are going to be preparing to get up on board our transportation, the wheels, and go home. Okay, you got to be a fool if you think we're getting up out of here on a Southwest airline or American Express or, Greyhound or anything else. We have our own transportation. They do not want to let us go. That's the whole reason why these plagues are coming down on them so hard, to force us up out of Egypt, okay, which is America, this European structure. And so these 5 mathematical pillars is what's going to get us through the time of unprecedented trouble. Now, it's all fun and games because you still got access to these grocery stores. You're still going to the gas station. You out partying. You drinking. You watching the game. You getting ready for your next club night. And so once all these distractions are taken out, once your back is against the wall and they're trying to attack us, you're going to get into action real quick. Okay, and that's why you need to understand these 5 mathematical pillars so you can exercise your discipline so that we don't get hemmed up. Because these demons, they have no discipline, and they're going to be going toe-to-toe with Master. They're going to be rioting and protesting. They're going to have their guns in the streets. Okay, and they're going to be fighting back. We're not doing any of that. This is our greatest weapon right here. There's 5 fundamental mathematical pillars of Islam. So, brothers and sisters, understand how this war in the Middle East is about to turn out. As soon as false Israel goes under siege and is destroyed, they're going to immediately turn on all blacks and try to kill us off to get rid of the evidence of the Abrahamic covenant. They rather kill us than let us go back home, because they know that once we go back home, we get back in control of our land. We're clearing all them devils and demons off. We're getting rid of them Saudis. The House of Saud is getting evicted. And we are back in control of all of our natural resources, which means that they're not getting no oil, no gas, period. And that's going to completely shut down their European economy. And that's what they get. That's their consequence, because they ain't set up here and turned the planet into an industrialized complex. And the whole thing about it is they need the oil from our land to run their industrial civilization, which is tearing up the planet. They think they're so smart. They built all these factories right here in our home. You wouldn't bring a factory into your house. And so they tearing up the planet, and they need our oil, our resources from the Middle East to keep it going. And so with us being back in control and shutting all that down, brothers and sisters, their whole structure is about to cave in. And not only that, they're going to be at war with each other because they need resources. They need, the Ukraine and the rest of the EU, France and Germany. Okay, they're going to need all kinds of resources that America is not going to be able to help them with. Yet America is set up here and tried to instigate this war, or did instigate this conflict between the Ukraine and Russia. And now UK is going to be needing, Ukraine is going to be needing all of these different resources. They're about to freeze to death over the winter. You know, they're going to turn back and look at America and say, we going through all this for y'all, and y'all don't even want to help us out. And so all of these European nations will be at war with each other. You know, America, they getting cut off from the Middle East, and they definitely not getting any oil from Russia. And so how are you going to war, with a limited amount of fuel? So their whole economy is about to collapse, brothers and sisters. And on top of that, they're trying to attack us. They have their hands full. Okay, they're trying to do way too much. And while they are so busy killing off blacks and trying to completely exterminate us, China and India is going to sneak up on them with their 200 million man army and completely invade America and invade Britain, take Britain out in chains, just like they brought us over here in chains. America is going to be nuked up. And so understand that the outcome of this war in the Middle East will change your life forever, brothers and sisters. This is a beautiful time for us because you can see exactly what's going on. Scriptures tells us it's a great time for us and a dreadful time for them. So understand what you're looking at. This is a time of unprecedented trouble that we are coming into. However, it's not a time to be fearful because you got your armor and you have your weapons, these 5 fundamental mathematical pillars. And we have our God mind, which is the angel. Master Solomon has given us our God mind back, which these devils have stripped from us. So, brothers and sisters, this war in the Middle East is going to be the spark to the war Armageddon. Iran is going to win this war, along with Syria, and they are under the direct guidance of Master Fraud Muhammad. America and Britain getting kicked out first. False Israel going under siege. They immediately are going to attack black folks. We coming together. Demons are being rejected, sent back to America, while we finish unifying. Some of us are getting out of here on the first trip. 144,000 of our brothers and sisters who woke up and got right into action, uploaded their God mind, and got their discipline back by applying these 5 mathematical pillars. They're getting out of here on the first trip, getting on the wheels, going home, clearing those Sunnis, the House of Saud, off of our land. Okay, we're gonna have a group of brothers and sisters here in America that's gonna have to go through tribulations. Those are the Levites, because those within the Nation of Islam are responsible for gathering the rest of our people who are lost, have no clue of what's going on, because this message is being blocked. And so during that time period, our Levite brothers and sisters that are still here will be gathering the rest of our people, getting them acquainted and giving them knowledge of self, okay, and regaining our nature, or going back to our nature of these 5 mathematical pillars. And then that next group is coming out. Scripture says that China and India, they'd be over here. They're going to part the Red Sea, which is China, and let the rest of our people through. So either way it goes, if you're getting out of here on the first trip or the second trip, you apply these 5 mathematical pillars, you're going to be just fine. If you understand this information being given, then you need to get on your post, brothers and sisters, and start letting our people know how this war is going to take place, and being prepared to unify as soon as America and Britain gets kicked out the Middle East. Brothers and sisters, thank you for having me. I will be back with more. Assalamu alaikum.